Hi, my name is Gwen McLeish. Welcome to Star TV. This is the Cultural Health Cooking Show. Hi, I'm Gwen McLeish. We're actually particularly today looking at Somali food and their diets. I'm demonstrating the healthy food of tropical food, ancestral style. Today we're particularly looking at East African herbs and spices and the health benefits of it. We'll show you some of the benefits of these herbs that is actually used, such as cardamom and fungi, and we call sorrel and sages, right? We will look at the benefits, the health benefits of it to prevent sickness and diseases, yeah? Now, we know that around the world many people actually uses spice in different ways. I'm particularly looking at Somalian food today and how they prepare it. We will be coming back to that in later sessions. Here we have a number of herbs and spices that is actually used in their cooking. We have garlic, which is very important because garlic contains, it's very good for high blood pressure and brings it down very quickly. It's also an antibacterial. It's used for 150 different things of the body. It thins the blood. Yeah. We also going on to a flower. We call it hibiscus, the proper Latin name. And this hibiscus, we have eat it, but you make drinks with it, you make tea with it. And you know, some people just love to eat it. It has a bitterish taste, a sourish taste, but it's a nice thing. That is also good for high blood pressure and diabetes, and it's very, very rich in vitamin C. Yeah. Cardamom here is a herb that is used widely. This is very good for the stomach. It's also been used for diabetes and digestive problem. It's also very, very good to actually make tea with. And I think if we now go to the sage, sage is what we use. I will come back to you in a minute, but sage is what we use, what is used also for seasoning meat and fishes and things like that when you're cooking. And it's very good for tea. This is very good for enriching your blood. Purifies your blood from cancer and different ill health, and enriches the blood cells to function better, and it cleans the body also. We will come back to you a little bit later on some of these spices and the importance of them to the body. But right now I would like to focus on the issues that affecting many people here in the UK, in Europe, and the change of diet that we've gone on to. Now, us people as African descendants, we actually are used to different diets. Our body is also different. It actually does not take in what we're putting into it in Europe. We are used to special food that makes our melanin changes, that give us stronger DNA and protection along with the climate of the sun for protection from disease. Yes? Look at your body here changes when you're in this country because the water and the food and the air is actually what is killing us. We are now suffering with dental problems, gum diseases. We are actually suffering with skin problems, allergies from the food because of the chemicals they put into the food. We're actually drinking a lot of fluoride into the water. The milk that you all have is not the same as the goat's milk and the camel milk that you're used to, which is so highly nutritious. It is very important that people learn to take care of their diets. There are certain things, in fact, you can still get here culturally from some of these shops. But on the whole of our society, the whole of our people are actually changing because they're suffering with arthritis, diabetes, high blood pressure, hormones imbalance, not just because of the discrimination also have not been able to get half the things that they are entitled to culturally. Now, these herbs, along with the food that you eat and drink, or use, even the simple black seed oil, which is actually used against many diseases for building the immune system whenever you are sick. I use it in a daily diet. You can also use these things to cook with. So basically, it is very important people understand that our melanin, our limbs, our organ setting is quite different from the Western people. Yeah, even though your children is born here, what has happened is that they are going to take on all these lifestyle, and in this lifestyle, it actually is going to affect them very greatly later on. If you have the chance to actually return to your country, even for a holiday, yeah, it makes a great difference in having some of that healthy food and some of that sunlight, which, as the ultraviolet rays, is the vitamin D3 and vitamin D that your body requires. What doctor is giving you here is vitamin D, but that vitamin D, they also add calcium to it. Now that calcium actually causes strokes and heart attack. You will feel your hand or body paining or tightening. You'll feel your chest tightening till you cannot breathe. You look at the aeroplane flying overhead with the smoke streak, that's spraying the aluminium that you're inhaling, causing asthma. It causes blindness and make you break. Our food is our medicine, and it's all the nutrition of vitamin A, B, C, D, whatever your body requires, right down to Z. Yeah, so it's very important that you actually take note of these things that you're eating, and not the junk food in the chicken shop that you all so much run for, chicken and chips. You don't have any idea what they're putting in those chips, and the chicken, you think it's halal. It's not. It actually contains 50% pork and beef hide water in it to pump it up to make it look good, coming from Holland and Germany, and now they send in things from Romania and all those places. Now we've spoken a little bit about the bad diets and its effect here on our people, and I'm going to show you now some of the spices that has been used that is so beneficial in the Somali's diets. And in their cooking, we have here what is called gamarabik. Yes, we use that in cooking also. You can make tea. We have cloves. Cloves is so very good for hormones balance, or toothache, and actually all health benefits of the body, right? We have, you call here, ginger. We have a bit of ginger. That is very good for you, which for gastric, it's for warming you, it's good for the liver, and many other things. We have here what is called turmeric. Now turmeric is also now being discovered, and all these things that I'm teaching you, it is scientifically proven, right? And used in culinary chef throughout Europe, throughout the world now. So this turmeric is actually good for Alzheimer and dementia. It's also good for stomach problem, and it's been known to also good for some diabetic problem. Yes. Now fennel seeds are very used to chew. It sweetens the mouth. It's also good for bad breath. It's very good for digestive system. Yes, and also a healing portion. Then we have what you call fungi. Now I think we have here some of the leaves. You have a powder, a white powder made from this, which is used also in the restaurant to blended with garlic to put on your food as a sauce when you're eating. And this has many health benefits for sickness and digestion, and it cleans the body and the blood. Very, very powerful herb this is, and it is used a lot. Now there is the cardamom, which is so lovely in a cup of tea, stew, soups, or whatever. Has many health benefits also, and we will be taking you through these things further later on in some of the sessions. Sage, which is actually a very important herb that everyone should have. It's also used for fumigating the house, It's also used for drinking, for purifying the blood, preventing cancer cells, and all these kinds of things that it is good for cleansing and purification. Here you have hibiscus, which is a flower well known in Africa and the Caribbean, and it's lovely tea. You make tea with it, you make jam with it, you can make soups with it, you can do so many things with this, or just eat it like that, yes? And then we have, black seed oil. Now, black seed oil is a very precious thing that is used. It's actually used, you can use it with honey, I do. You can use it with cooking, I do. Not just for colds and flu. These things should be taken at least once or twice a week, to keep the immune system strong, yes? Nutmeg is something that we actually know. Garlic is very important because that has up to 150 different healing benefits, yeah? Such as high blood pressure can bring it down in a week, and, for thinning the blood and all that sort of thing, clearing the heart. We have a bundle of herbs here, and simple things. This grows in Africa quite a lot. We call it chew sticks, right? Now, this also is a very powerful plant, yeah? Nobody uses it much. You chew it in Africa to clean the teeth, and it also prevents gum diseases, yeah? So these things are very important to have, and it's also good for diabetes and so on, yeah? We have many other things here. Ginger, we didn't talk about fresh ginger. So very important, ginger. It's good for gas, or we call it wind, yes? It's also good for protecting the liver from alcohol, sort of things, yes, if you juice it and drink it. And it's also good for pain and many other things, and it keeps the body warm. It really is a powerful herb to use, yeah? So there are many things, lemongrass and different things you can use, and we will take you a bit more further on. For now, some of these things you can buy in the shops here, some of them you can grow. We live in a different climate here in Europe, therefore not all things you've seen here can grow. But what I would like to do is to take you into my garden and show you some of the things you can grow. And it is so important if you can grow your own vegetables and food, because many of the things you buy in the shop are so full of chemicals that it affects your body inside very badly. It's just like taking pills and having the side effects. Things like DDT, genetic modified food, and all these sort of things. So now let's go to the garden so I can show you some things you can grow out in your own garden if you do have one. Or we have an allotment we can share. So this is actually the fennel tree. That's what it looks like. You can actually plant here. And the beauty of this is that you don't have to plant it every year. The seeds drop and grow and regrow every year. Goes down in the winter and come up. But it's also very good for the stomach or whatever. This is our beautiful bay leaves tree, which is actually used in old ancient days. It is used, and probably still is used, to balm people in death. But it's used for cooking, for puddings, the stew, make beautiful tea, and it's also good for women problems. This is a rosemary that is good for high blood pressure. You can buy them in the shops. Yeah, this grows every year itself too, and it is very good for high blood pressure, stomach problems, stews and meat and teas and fish. You use all these beautiful, and it's got beautiful smell. When you're feeling depressed and down, you can actually use these things. Now we have over here which is called lemon balm. Now this is lemony, very lemony, and it's nice flavor on your meat and fish and make beautiful tea. You're paying a fortune for these things in the actual health shop, yeah? And this is another herb again from Asia, which actually is very important, and we use that, but the way I use them is in the raw food, yes? Now these you get here, this is sweet pea. That grows every year. The flowers of this makes tea. And of course here you can find, I have mint. You grow this all over the place. It grows every year and come back. There's a pot over there. And many of you also know what we call the grape trees. Here we have the grape leaves. There's little baby grapes coming up. And you know, in the Arab world, in Greek and so on, they use the leaves and they make it with a stuffing of rice and mince and onions and cardamom and so on. And they use that to make a nice meal, yeah, in the restaurant. So very much, you see. Now this herb is very important here. This herb here is very important. It is a herb that if you have arthritis, aches, pains or anything, it is the richest herb in calcium. Compared to the calcium the doctor give you, if you fracture a bone, broke a bone, it heals within 7 days, yes? So those are important. Now in my little garden we have natural potatoes growing, no chemicals on them. They're left in God's way, just rain and sunshine. So these are potatoes that, you know, growing on its own, and cabbage. These are, you have carrots, you have turnips. These are turnips. The leaves of these are like spinach. You use it to make like a vegetable spinach. You cook it and eat it. There's beetroot there. Here you have a pear tree that grows 3 different pear, natural and organic, like I said before, everything here. That's a natural pear tree. And here you have the cherry tree. These things you don't have to worry about. If you put a little plant in your garden, they comes up each year and they grow themselves. This is chives. You can see pots of it here. These chives here, little onions, little things you eat, the flowers you eat, as well as the chives you put on your salads and everything, yes? And then you have the beautiful fig tree here. Here you see the figs growing here, and every year it grows. A little bit of this can actually grow in this big tree. And it's so important. We have things here like 3 different apples. Yes, you have blackberry, which is also good for pain in the stomach and so on. There's elderberry, so important, this tree. I have just discovered from the scientists in Belgium that this tree is actually very good for fighting influenza. The berries of this is full of iron. You see, the leaves we don't use, but the berries of this you buy, you make tea with the flowers, right? And also they make elderberry wine also. So these things are very important, but this is what has been used in the very old days to actually prevent and fight flu and so on. So all these injections and things they're giving you, God already made them. And this is what, you know, Allah says we should do. He says in the scripture, our food is our medicine, which is our nutrition and healing the body. This here is another herb. We walk on them every day. Very good herb here for kidney problems. People have stones and things like that. These clean the body. These are things that clean the body, and as you eat them. We have what is called, there's your olive tree growing there, that grows. There's your beautiful thyme, here, which you season your food with, very good for nerves. Very important to use these things for nerves, and tea and so on, yes? So there's lots of little things you can actually grow, which you don't have to, you know, replant every year or worry about growing things. Look, there is your blackberry, there's berry bush, gooseberries bush. You can't, a lot of it needs a bit weeding out. There's the thyme there again with its flower on. Use it in your meat and your fish and everything. And of course the ginkgo plants and so on still coming up. So basically it is showing you, as you can see here, that I am drying some of these for the winter time. I keep them indoors, and I can either pick them and dry them. But if you fracture a bone, as I said, it heals in 7 days. This was what I used to actually heal Wayne Rooney's toe when he couldn't play in the Japan's game, yeah, through the Sports Council doctor, of course. Now you can buy them in the health shop, but this is the natural calcium that God has given us, not what the doctor's given you that causes in strokes and heart attack, but this is the richest calcium. They feed them to the cows here as well. Now I'm going to take you back a little in the history of our ancestors and how we were brought up. And one of the things that I've noticed here, that many people have forgotten their past, their history. They come over to Europe and they tend to get sluggish and lazy, and the food they eat actually do affect the mind and the body and the spirit. Now, one of the things that we used to do when they do the camel herding, the goats, when we do the chicken, remember going picking up those eggs, right? Or milking the goats and the camel, right? And carrying the wood and the water. Those were our natural therapy. We walk bare feet on the ground. Children play and roll in the grass or whatever on the earth. This was a natural therapy. You didn't see our children or getting sick and diseased like we do in Europe if we walk bare feet or walk out there, do something. In fact, it was so important to realize the actual therapy and what the natural way that, creation had given to us. And we have ruined all this. Now everybody is either going to gym or they're sitting in the house watching television. Not everybody can afford gym. We don't have the money to actually go there. But many of you could actually do some of these things from home. We don't have to carry wood or water. We don't have goats to milk. Unless you want to go on the farm, I can take you there another time, yes? But we don't have camels and goats and whatever to milk. But you can actually stay in your house, walk bare feet around if you want, not outdoors, it's not healthy too. But you can also actually have your sauna, do your exercise from home. I do. Through the housework, you're hoovering, you're stretching and you're dancing, put your music on and you're doing and jumping all about and stretching, whatever way you can do it. You don't need to actually go to gym, you can do it home. It is very important to understand other people's culture and how things are done and, the benefit it has to us. Now, many people think, oh, you cannot eat camel's meat or drink camel's milk. But I would like you to know that the camel's milk is so much more important to have than cow's milk. Cow's milk is so full of steroid. It's full of antibiotics. That is what they feed the animals with. In fact, they actually feed the cows with the intestines of sheep. Yes? So all this is going into their food and it's going inside your body. So when you have some people just putting on weight automatically, think of the steroid in the food. Yeah? It is very important. Goat's milk is so nourishing, 3 times more nourishing than cow's milk, because it has rich vitamins that clears eczema and eczema off the skin. Yes, it doesn't give you catarrh and sinus and all these things that the cow's milk give you, because it doesn't contain the antibiotics the same as they put in the cow's feed. So goat's milks and goat's cheese, which is a very special diet to East African people, the Arabs and so on. I love goat's cheese. I use a lot of goat's milk. So it's very important, because when I had skin disease way back in the 60s, doctor didn't know what was it we were having, and it was all because of the beef and the cow's products we ate. And it was only in the 80s, late 80s, they start to discover that it's an eczema or an asthma. Your head would bleed, your body full of sores. If you look at some babies now on the buses with the parents, their whole body is covered with sores and so on, because they have allergies, food allergies to everything that's happening in the milk and cheese and so on. So it's important to eat, if you have things like eczema, your children, feed them on the goat's milk and the goat's cheese here. You can get them to buy in Tesco, Sainsbury's, any supermarket, and it is very important. Keep them away from the cow's milk. We thank you very much for watching and sharing your time with us. Next time we will be actually looking at doing simple soups and using some of these lovely herbs and spices and vegetables, and we will also be looking at doing a meal. We're not quite sure yet if it's going to be a meat dish or a vegetable dish, or we may just do injera. Yeah, so thank you all for watching, and until next time.